This is Imaginary Me, where we see through the illusion of the separate self. Welcome back. It's Imaginary Me. So the topic today is a bit of a hot potato in the world of non-duality and non-dual circles. The issue of practices. Should I, or is it a good idea to, employ practices like meditation, energy work, whatever practice you can think of, to help me gain self-realization, enlightenment, to help me realize my true self, my true nature? Are practices valuable? Should I be doing something? This is a loaded question. And if you talk to 10 people, you get 11 answers usually. But there seems to be two fundamental sides or fundamental choices with this question. People who answer it fall into two camps generally. First is the absolutely no, positively not. You are not to do any practices because that strengthens the sense of separation, reinforcing the illusion of your separateness. Then the other side is, well, if a practice seems good to you to do, go ahead and do it. And teachers come down in general terms on either side of this, in those two camps. And some teachers will tell one person, yes, do practices, and turn around in another breath and tell someone else not to do practices. So there's a lot of angst and confusion about this. We'll try to get through a little bit of this today. And this is, I am not a big advocate for one way or another, although I'll make some suggestions that hopefully in a very innocuous and non-threatening way, you can take what you like from what I say and do as you see fit. And why should you do as you see fit? Because we start from the foundation that you are the sovereign being. You are the unbounded, eternal, aware being, infinite. You are the sovereign being. Sovereign meaning that you have the power. We start from that foundation, not that you are an individual self who is on some sort of path to a gaining self-realization. If we start from there, then practices make sense. Yeah, do this practice, do that practice, fine. But we don't start with the illusory self. We don't start there because we don't start with the false. We begin at the end. And the end is what you've always been eternally, the unbounded, effortless being. Effortless, aware being is your true nature. And you have always been that. You have never been anything other than that. So to start from an illusory premise that you are a person who needs to do things to get somewhere, that sets us off on the wrong foot just from the very get-go. But if we start from the fact that you are the sovereign being and have always been that, and you can't be anything other than that, then the question of practices, to practice or not practice, kind of loses its edge a little bit. Because as the sovereign being, it's your choice. If you want to play in the realm of practices and the personal self and do things, what's stopping you? Go ahead. Have fun with it. That's what it should be. It should be play. It should be fun. It shouldn't be grit your teeth determination to get something. As long as you have a playful and fun attitude, realizing who you truly are before you start, then practices are fine. Do what you like. But if you're using practices to get somewhere, if you're using practices to turn the individual illusory self, the imaginary me you mistake yourself to be, into the sovereign being, if you're trying to get from A to B that way, then no practice will help you. In fact, practices may just derail you further. They just become a delaying tactic. It's like Christ said, seek first the kingdom of God. And what does that mean in this context? To realize that you are the sovereign being already. You own the kingdom. And of course, if you want to go and have some fun adventures playing this role or doing these practices or that, yeah, that's up to you. Use your intuition to guide you. At the very least, have fun with it. Don't approach it with a sense of determination or a goal in mind. If you're doing it just for the joy of it, great. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's fun. This life, this dualistic realm we seemingly live in is really just a movie. It's really a playground for you. It should be. It should be a playground. So go have fun in it. But don't think you're going to change anything about who you are, or that it will move you a step closer to realizing who you are. It won't. What I suggest to most people who are on the cusp of realization is to tell them that since they are already what they're seeking, the best thing for them to do is to simply stop and look and be who you are. Being who you are is not a practice. You can't practice being who you are. There's no development there. You are already that. Just stop and look. Look at the facts of your current experience. Don't pay attention to what the mind's telling you is your current experience. Look factually at your current experience. Can you find someone there? Is there an individual self thinking? Is there an individual self somewhere in your experience feeling? Is there an individual self somewhere in your experience doing anything? Or is it simply all one unified field in motion, but also complete stillness at the same time? Seeming motion, eternal stillness. Some people call that self-inquiry. I don't like using that phrase because it's been used and abused over the years, and a lot of non-dual people like to practice self-inquiry and asking questions like, who am I? Who am I supposed to point you back to the looking? Stop looking. You don't keep asking the question, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? No. So if you approach it in the right way, it can work. I don't consider that a practice. I just consider that, being who you are and noticing the truth. Noticing the truth isn't a practice. So if you want a practice, quote unquote, just notice the truth. What about watching my breath or practicing mindfulness or other things like that? Fine, play with it. Instead of watching your breath, though, I might suggest, well, it could calm you down and relieve some anxiety. It gets you out of the thinking mind a bit. It's therapeutic. It's just like a massage, or getting your nails done, or watching a beautiful sunset. I mean, whatever's therapeutic, fine. But instead of being interested in your breath, so to speak, become more interested in what's noticing your breath. If you approach anything in the right way, it will point itself back to you. Everything begins and ends with you. Any experience, watching the breath, being mindful, looking at a sunset, playing with a child, getting, hurt, stepping on a staple, anything points back to you, because you are the source of all experience, and all experience is one with you, the ever-present aware being. So taken properly, anything can throw you back to yourself. But become more interested in what's noticing than the thing noticed. Again, when you do it like that, it's not a practice. It's just looking at the facts, being aware of what's the truth. Being aware of the truth is not a practice. But again, if you want to watch your breath or be mindful, go right ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. Just don't expect things to happen from that, other than maybe the body relaxes a bit, The body's emotions and tensions and thinking stream decrease. I mean, these are good things. They're therapeutic again, but they're not salvific in the sense of pointing you to your true nature. Now, there is one practice that does pair itself well with non-duality. Perhaps not for everyone, but in my personal experience, I have found it to be of use. It has nothing to do with self-realization. It has nothing to do with your true nature. However, in the realm of duality that we seemingly live in, and I say seemingly because we don't, the realm of duality appears within us and is made of us, the one infinite aware, effortless being. The practice I'm referring to is energy work. That is becoming aware of the bioenergy in and around your body and in so-called things around you. Some people have a natural talent for this or an interest in it. I always have. And I'm not talking about visualization and things like imagining purple energy flowing down your chakras from on high and feeling, no. I mean, actually feeling it and learning to develop the energy of the body and project it, do things with it, whatever your interest may be. Duality is made out of, or this physical, so-called physical reality. In fact, all of the dualistic realms, which include the physical, the mental, and the emotional, these are all made of something that people refer to as prana or chi or orgone, or it has a bunch of different names. If you start to develop this, it has good tangible benefits for the body in all of its forms, whether it's the etheric body, the astral body, physical, all these different sheaths. Some people call them the koshas, if you're into Indian philosophy. I don't like to throw around esoteric terms like that. I prefer bioenergy or something like that. The body has very interesting energy centers, and you could explore these. Again, this is part of the realm of duality. Nothing that I'm talking about has anything to do with the non-dual perspective. Energy, prana, chi, ki, whatever. All of this, kundalini, all of these are appearances within the dualistic realm. They have nothing to do with the non-dual. However, if you're looking for a practice that's probably as close as you could get in the dualistic realm to something in the non-dual, kind of almost as a bridge between the two, I would say energy work is a good practice to adopt if you're interested. If you have no interest in these matters, skip it. I've always found it to be quite entertaining and fun. Again, it goes back to fun. Anything in the dualistic realm that you do should be fun and enjoyable. This is your playground as the sovereign being. The dualistic realm is your playground, not your prison, because you've never entered into it. It appears within you. And finding your true nature, being self-realized, is a better prerequisite to doing anything else. So if you want to adopt practices and have fun after self-realization, maybe you want to do that instead. Don't use practices as a pathway toward self-realization. It doesn't work. So if you're interested in energy work, I can recommend no technique or set of techniques more than that developed by the pioneering astral projection guy, Robert Bruce. He has a pretty good book out there called, I believe it's called Energy Work. I don't agree with everything that Robert Bruce put in his book, but the foundational techniques of using awareness in the body to stimulate and develop your ability to sense energy and to do things with it and develop your energy body, those techniques are fantastic. No visualization, just tactile awareness in and around the body. So yeah, if you're interested in that, check out Robert Bruce's Energy Work book. I believe Mr. Bruce passed away a couple of years ago, but his energy work is quite groundbreaking and like nothing else out there that I've ever seen. So check it out if you're interested. Just want to give that information to you and do with it what you will. That's all for now. Until next time, take care and enjoy yourself.